Hello, world music scholars, and welcome to Japan, Part 3. Bellwork, defined terms. Natori, an introduction in which each melodic instrument enters in order to identify the pitches of the cho and evoke its mood. Hayashi, accompanying instrumental ensemble comprised of a nokan, 2 suzimi, and a taiko drum. It is 500 years old and accompanies no and kabuki theater. Taiyu, a puppeteer who narrates stories and sings to fill the puppets with life. The concept of ma refers to the relationship between sound and silence. Hayashi, video. So, no theater, as I've mentioned in a previous lecture, is based on a minimalistic approach where these very small movements or notes represent a lot more in the part of the story. And the actors, even for female characters, were usually historically played by men. And you could see, and what I mean by minimalism is the main character on the front of the nose stage in the costume was moving very, very slowly and with great intent. Now let's take a look at another form of Japanese theater, bunraku, which is the puppet theater. And this is Taiyu. We're going to take a look at what it's the life of a puppeteer.
Ranking along with No and Kabuki as one of Japan's foremost traditional stage arts, the Ningyo Jorori Bunraku puppet theatre is a blend of sung narrative, instrumental accompaniment, and puppet drama. This theatrical form emerged during the early Edo period, around 1600, when puppetry was coupled with Jorori, a popular 15th century narrative genre. In the mid-17th century, numerous permanent commercial theatres were devoted specifically to puppet performances and kabuki, and by the mid-18th century, Ningyo Jorori had adopted its characteristic staging style. The genre acquired its present full name, Ningyo Jorori Bunraku, in the late 19th century. The Bunrakuza was a leading theatre of the period. The stories told in Ningyo Jorori, as this new form of puppet theatre was known at the time, derived from two principal sources: historical plays set in feudal times, Jidaimono, and contemporary dramas that explored the conflict between affairs of the heart and social obligations, Syuwamono. The impressive puppets, which are dressed in elaborate costumes and have individualized facial expressions, are painstakingly handcrafted by master puppet makers.
I love the craftsmanship on the puppets. Guided kotos. Kabuki is comparable to opera, with melodramatic activity, music, and dancing. In the slide roll rhythmic effect, each unit is internally correct, but they are not set in terms of the same first beat. In the early Shinto ceremony, Matsuri musicians must learn all the other instruments and parts to be proficient. In the yearly Shinto ceremony, Active listening number 3, Song of the Kusatsu Hot Spring. What stringed instrument do you hear? The chorus is made up of whom? Clap along with the strumming rhythm.
草強いとこよほほい国への土産よ袖に湯花のよほほい蚊が残るとかよ知らね登ればよほほいお花畑よ草津町にはよほほい湯の畑とかよ草強いとこよほほい知らねえの山はよ暑さ知らずのよほほい風が吹くとかよ
Here is a picture of the Kusatsu hot spring. And the lyrics. Translation: Song of Kusatsu, the hot spring. Kusatsu is a goodly place. You may take home with you the fragrance of spar in your sleeves. Climb Mount Shirain, and you'll find the flowers all abloom. Kusatsu, the town, may be in bloom too. Kusatsu is a goodly place for skiing in winter. All the talks of the town are heard in the hot, bubbling spring. The songs Oh, and that's just an explanation of the song lyrics. Okay, just the facts, listening number 3. In the song lyrics, the bubbling spring is personified as the talk of the townsfolk. The shamisen accompanies the singer like a guitar. Now, we know a lot of electronics have come out of Japan that have really changed the way our world works, and one of them is the 808 drum machine. So this was created in the 80s in Japan by the company Acetone, and it changed the world of hip-hop forever. So we're going to just watch a video about the history of the 808 drum machine.
It was a huge impact.
Changed our lives, man.
It's crazy when you think about the whole thing.
It became the frequency of the culture. It's how our ears are tuned.
It was such a unique sounding drum machine that it really affected the way we wrote the songs.
When the 808 came out, it's something that I could actually program the beats in my head and put rolls and stuff in it. Oh, man. That's the sound I want.
What's crazy about it, it's 40 years old, it still sounds fresh. You go for the 808.
It's going to continue to evolve.
I always say Roland put the boom in music because they gave us an opportunity to use the boom.
Doing the 808 movie, we found out how people knew about the 808, and it was definitely through Planet Rock.
Planet Rock.
African Bambaataa.
I fell in love with Planet Rock from the beginning.
After Planet Rock,
Then everybody got one.
The story behind the making of Planet Rock, and I was living in Brooklyn and I went to a record store called Music Factory. So I heard numbers and I was like, reaction was ridiculous. And I said, wow, we should use that beat. And we sort of bit some of that beat, but then we added a lot of different things. In the mix, I broke down the drum machine parts so that took the snare out and you had the kick and the clap together with no snare. That type of arrangement style became really famous in hip hop. We definitely created a template for programming hip hop records to this day.
I bought my 808 in 81. Jam on It wasn't written yet. And Computer Age was supposed to be the next record. They said, no, we want you to do a rap record. And I'm telling them, well, we're not rappers. We're DJs. No, we want you to do a rap record. So I said, okay, fine, we'll do a rap record. It's funny, Jam on It is probably the record I did the least amount of work on. I did the whole track in about 45 minutes. Let me get the boom, 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 boom. That's this, and I programmed it.
Okay, and that'll finish things up for Japan Part 3.